Listen to this episode if you are wanting to diversify your product suite, but you don't really know if it's the right time, when to do what, and how many products is too many products. This is a question I actually get asked a lot, and it's a mistake that I see very often with my clients that are either scaling or that they're starting their business trying to get to consistent sales online, is that they actually diversify too much too quickly, where then you have too many SKUs and it just kind of throws off how you can market and really dilutes your marketing a little bit too much. So we're going to dive into this topic today, when it's good, when it's a good call to really start doing it, what are some good signs, as well as what can diversifying your product suite really do for your brand. And of course, as always, we're going to give some real examples out there as well. If you are new here, hello, welcome to the Small Business Growth Podcast. I'm your host, Madison Page, and I am a business growth specialist, but I like to teach in a fun, conversational type of way. I like to call it Sipping Coffee with a Biz Bestie, where we teach raw and real and genuine business conversation, sharing actual business growth advice. Without further ado, let's start talking about diversifying some product suites. We're going to talk some common mistakes, when to do it, and then how do you know it's actually time to start adding this in, or if you did it a little too soon. As well as we're going to talk a little bit about like a nice little hack that if you just want to get a taste if this product is a good product to launch. So some of the first kind of two major common mistakes here is that people have too many products too soon, or that you actually build a business that is only fit for one product, and then it's hard to actually expand. So we're going to chat about both of these. First things first is I have a lot of business owners that come to me and they maybe have like an all natural skincare brand, and that at first they had soaps, and then they had, bath salts, and then they have skincare, and then they started to do, moisturizer, and then they just branched out to too many products too quick, where then it's hard to and then they start making, kitchen soap and kitchen detergent. All of a sudden you're a one size fits all product, or maybe you have like 5 styles of in your boutique, and then all of a sudden you launch a whole new product and you launch 30 new styles every time you launch, and you have so many products on your website. Honestly, there are plenty of businesses out there that massively scaled their business with like 1 to 5 products. Like if you think of some of these huge businesses, there are a lot of businesses that just had 1 product, they mastered that product, and then they scaled from there. It's not a product issue that your sales are not working, because I know so many people are like, well, Maddie, I really want to sell skincare too. Well, Maddie, I really want to have this too. Maddie, I really want to sell, I sell candles. I really want to sell perfumes, and I want to sell this, and I want to sell that, and I want to do all of these different things. And that's great, but we don't want to get too big for our britches. Too big for our britches. Is that a saying? I think it is. Who knows? But it really just dilutes your messaging. If you have too much going on, all of a sudden you have to try promoting way too many things, and it's actually hard to build your messaging around too many things at once. It's okay to have fewer products. It's okay to have shorts and a shirt and a hoodie, and then just kind of cycle through different patterns. You really don't need too many SKUs, and it's something that you see a lot when you watch Shark Tank. It's something that you see a lot when you watch other business TV shows, is they say keep it simple in the beginning. And it's something that I say a lot as well, is that we don't want to expand too quickly. A lot of my clients think okay, well, my sales aren't working here. What if I launch this whole other new, very time consuming product that is going to take me a lot of inventory, a lot new supplies, and all of this to get started up. And then maybe that is what will finally take off. And then I'm going to launch these because I want this to be like this one size fits all shop. Where that's really nice and that's wonderful, sometimes it actually just dilutes your messaging, and you would be better off starting with some hero products and then expanding from there. It is actually better to have fewer products. I guess it's very different for different brands. If you have a boutique, yes, it makes sense to have quite a few products. If you have a business that does have it, but like skincare, think of your favorite skincare brand. They probably have 4 or 5 SKUs. They probably started with just a few products, got known for those products, and then they started to expand from there. If you think about this, like Set Active, which is a business that I use very often, I love their growth story, is they were just like the athletic wear sets for a really long time. They got known for that company that creates really cute athletic wear sets. And now they're like a full-on lifestyle brand. They have coats, they have bags, they have so many other products, but they had to be known first. They had to call in their ideal customers first with this one product. And now they had a ride or die community. People already knew that they loved their products, and then they expanded from there. Another really good example here is Bloom Nutrition. Bloom Nutrition, yes, they had other products, but their major focus in their marketing has been their greens for years. They launched their greens. Their greens really took off. That was their major product. That was their major income, hero product income source for a very long time. When they went into Walmart, when they went into Target, when they got into Sam's Club, they started with just greens, and they got their greens on the shelves. That was what they scaled first. They might have had protein and whatever else on their website, but that was what they were known for, and that is what they talked about. It was their hero product. And now they launched 2 massive new products. Once they were really scaled, they were into stores, they were where they wanted to be with their greens. They were known for that. Now they have colostrum, now they have energy drinks, and now they were able to expand. And even then, they sold 1 colostrum. They didn't have colostrum that was colostrum and collagen like combo, I think it is. And now they expanded into these supplements. They didn't expand and have a whole new product line. They had 1 unflavored colostrum collagen powder. And then they expanded again into energy drinks. And again, they didn't launch 12 new energy drinks. They launched like 4 flavors so people can get it. And then that allows them to have limited edition things coming out, that allows them to expand it later. And it allowed them to test it out, made sure people really liked it. So this is a mistake that I see a lot, is that people add too many products too soon. And then it's like, if you can't imagine trying to market all of those at once, and you have to really cycle through all of your marketing, that is something that it's probably a little too soon. If you aren't yet to consistent sales, or at least you don't have like a sales strategy that you know works, it's probably a little too soon. Unless you only have 1 or 2 products and you're like, oh, I feel like this is a really good time to do it. But honestly, you would be better off being known for something really strong than trying to be known for everything. It's kind of like that jack of all trades, but a master of none. We want you to be a master of at least one before you expand. The second mistake that I see with diversifying your product line is that you actually built a business with just your one first product in mind. I was just watching a show called Side Hustlers. It has Emma Grede and Ashley Graham in it. Emma Grede is somebody that I have looked up to for a really long time. She's like the business brain behind a lot of the Kardashian brands, where she's like a business consultant for them. And I think she's co-founder with a lot of them. And she has a show on Roku, which is really fun to watch. It's called Side Hustlers, where she takes a lot of business owners just like you, and she mentors them for a couple of weeks. It's a really great representation of how strong mentorship is when somebody knows what they're talking about, and you can kind of see how she can help people in that. But she had one in season 1. It was called Crate Away. It was a collapsible dog crate where it was really easy. It was really lightweight, and it was a really like simplified design, but the name was Crate Away. And she didn't like that the name Crate Away only allowed her to sell crates and crate like accessory products. She wanted her to build a business from the very start, before this product was in prototypes. Like, they didn't even start selling it yet. She said, you need to build a business to scale into other areas. So let's try to make this a brand that you can scale into other dog or other pet carriers or other pet products, because we don't want to build a brand that's just based on crates, that's just based on having this one singular product. It's going to be harder to scale later. So from the very beginning of your brand, we want to be thinking about this. We want to be thinking about, how can you build a brand now to actually scale? This is something I work with in my programs with a lot of people on, because we don't want you to scale a product. We don't want people to buy just for the product. We want you to build a brand. What are you known for? This is what you hear me talk about all the time, is this differentiator. We need a meaning around your brand deeper than just my product is great. We want you to be known for the person that's different than just the person that pours candles or the person that invented this one product. We want you to have a meaning. We want you to have like an actual structured brand, like an entity, like a vibe around your product. And that is when, if you have a strong brand, that's when it's a lot easier to scale. This is something that I work on with a lot of my scaling clients, is if we can add seamlessly new product into your brand that's that's easily integrated into your brand right now, and there's no friction and it really seems very simple, then that means you have a really solid brand. You really can sit with just a few products for a while. A lot of your favorite brands out there probably started with one product, maybe 5 products. Look at Scrub Daddy. If you don't know Scrub Daddy, they are one of the most successful products from Shark Tank than any other product out there. And it basically started with like 1, maybe 2 sponges. That one was like very firm sponge to clean your dishes. When it was like really firm, it didn't squish at all because it really was there to scrub. And the other one was a little bit softer. They had 2 SKUs to start. They scaled those 2 SKUs. They got people to love the brand, love like what they stood for. And now, my gosh, they have pumpkins, they have ghosts, they have women, they have men, they have all sorts of different SKUs. They have like brushes with handles, they have so many things, but it's because they built a brand around the Scrub Daddy, and then they had the Scrub Mommy, and they had the Scrub Ghosty, and they have all of these different things, but they started with 1 SKU, got their name out there, got brand awareness, and kind of expanded from there. I think a good time to say, is it a good time to expand my product line, is if I added this, would it naturally scale my sales? If you are ready to scale your sales, you're not trying to start growing your business. You are trying to scale your sales from where they're at. You have a community. You know that if you dropped a new product, people are going to die for it. Then it's a good time to diversify your product suite. If you are telling yourself, you know, Maddie, I am going to add this product, and let's hope that this is a product that is naturally going to get me to the next step. This is a product that is naturally going to, like, this is finally going to be my thing that gets me to consistent sales that people die over. If that is your thought around this product, I think you're probably a little too soon. Unless you're like, Maddie, I want to shift into this other product suite. Of course, there are exceptions here, but in general, I don't want you to launch a product because you think it's going to solve your problems. I want you to launch a product because you think that your community of already strong customers are going to love this product as well as your other products. You really want to work on building your brand, building your messaging, and getting a solid content strategy that works prior to expanding into a new product line a lot of times. I want you to know that every time you launch, every time you do something, that you can then expand after that, knowing that every time you launch something, people are buying, and then you can add these other product lines, and you know that people are already so hooked on your brand and what you stand for and the products that you already have, and then you can expand from there. Again, Set Active, they started with like 5 different styles, and they were more so launching new colorways, you know, for spring, for summer, for fall. They launched new colorways. They weren't launching a ton of new products and having sweaters and all of this. I want you to get so solid in this product, and knowing that your goal is eventually to be here, eventually to be there. You can't be that right now if you don't yet have consistent sales flowing. From a cash flow standpoint, from a marketing standpoint, it's just going to add more to your plate, add more inventory that you don't need. We first need to master sales strategy first. If you have an idea that you feel like will be like a brand new hero product and you're like, Maddie, but I think this is gonna be it, something that you can do is do a limited edition drop and see if this is something that your community is like really like goes crazy for. Pick a great time of year for it and do like a little mini limited edition drop and see if it does really take off. And then we can do a full time and make it a constant on your website. I do think it's a good time to test things out like that at the beginning of kind of your busy season, or your holiday season can be a good time to say this is limited edition for the holidays. And if people absolutely go crazy over it, then maybe you can add it on constantly in the spring or in the fall, a different time. So you can test it in small batches. But for some businesses, that doesn't work. If you're a handmade business, that might work. Something for handmade businesses that you can diversify into is products that aren't handmade. Products that are manufactured is a good thing to diversify into. But again, you want your handmade business to be almost capped by the time we expand into non-handmade products in order to scale your sales. So at the end of the day, kind of to summarize, if you are wanting to diversify your suite, do not diversify hoping that it'll solve your problems, hoping that it'll finally be the thing that makes you sales. If that is your mentality behind it, we have to first identify what your sales breakdown is, because a new product does not mean that you are going to naturally make sales. It's a common mistake I hear all the time. And you're like, but Maddie, I think they're really going to love it. What if this is the case? I want you to be able to sell what you started selling pretty well before you start diversifying. And that's something that I tell a lot of my clients is like, let's get your messaging out there. Let's get your content out there. Let's get people in love with what you have, and then we can expand from there. Diversifying your product suite should be something that is really exciting, and it should be something that drastically catapults your sales, that drastically scales what you're able to have. You should be able to kind of start with a couple of things. Okay, let's do this, let's do that. Again, Set Active started with like a cardigan, and then they might have started with like a little couple of pajamas, and then they started with a coat, and now they do full lines of lifestyle products. They are no longer an athletic wear or athleisure brand. They have all, and they still kept their values of a lot of monochrome sets, as well as they kept the value around, a lot of it is very comfortable. It's like that comfy casual for your everyday, but it is much more of a lifestyle brand now. But they got very known for their sets first, and then they expanded. A lot of businesses do this, is they get known for something and then they expand into something else. And that's a really great way to scale your business. It isn't a great way to start your business, is having all of these options out there. If you have specific questions for me, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at This Is Madison Page. I love when you tell me you just love the podcast. It is seriously so much fun to know the people who are sitting here and chatting with me Tuesday and Friday every single week. You guys are the best. My podcast community is so much fun. Please reach out on Instagram if you have any questions, or if you just want to say, Maddie, I love the podcast. I love to stock your businesses as well, because you guys do some really cool things. So if you have any questions for me, as always, feel free to reach out. I hope this was helpful for you. Diversifying your product suite is really, really fun. Congratulations that you're even thinking about doing it, but it can be very time consuming. It can be very expensive, and it can be something that is actually makes your marketing harder if you do it too soon. We definitely want to have that strong brand built prior to diversifying. We definitely want to have some things checked before we actually start doing that. I hope you have a great day. I hope this was helpful for you. Make sure that you are subscribed to the podcast so you get notified every Tuesday and Friday. I love you. I'm rooting for you, and I'm in your corner always. I will see you in the next episode.